Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, please do subscribe down below, click the like button, all that good stuff. You're so close to 9,000 subscribers, it'd be amazing to hit that today. There was going to be no content today in terms of the fact that for obvious reasons, the servers have been down on and off for the last 24 hours. But then I got on the servers and started playing the game, and I realised I was playing this game and I was like, this game's crap. Like, this game's really, really crap. I took some time off of playing gameplay and just focused on the trading the series for you guys. Pack and Hullets made me want to start playing the game again and getting into gameplay. But it has also, like, just give me loads of thoughts in my head that I thought I might as well put into a video and talk to you guys about, rather than sitting there stewing on it all day. But yeah, if you want to watch me do this stuff live, click the link down below, come over to Twitch. We are one of the fastest growing Twitch channels over there. Don't forget, check out foottrading.co.uk for all your trading needs. The link is down below. But essentially, the problem I have with FIFA 20, and it's more than anything, it's just a really bad game. It's a really bad game. And throughout this year, I've tried my hardest to forget that it's bad because I don't spend FIFA points. So for me, I just trade and play with these players and whatnot. But it's got to the stage where I look at it in April, and what triggered me was I looked at what I think is a brilliant charity for reference. The Campaign Against Living Miserably is a sensational charity. And FIFA have linked up with them, and I just find it ironic because I play computer games all the time. That's what I do for a living, and this is the only game that I find myself getting angry at. You get annoyed in terms of, if let's say I play Warzone, for example, and it doesn't register a shot the way I thought it would, or I just play crap, I get annoyed at it, it's fine. But I legitimately look at FIFA 20 and think, this game is horrendous. It is awful, and there's no way of getting around that. It is awful. The first thing, I've spoken about it before in terms of mechanics of the game, in terms of the SBC'S and stuff like that. There are very few SBC'S, for example, in this game. We'll talk about the trading side of things first, and then we'll talk about gameplay afterwards. But there are very few SBC'S this year that I thought, right, that's been good value. PK comes to mind. I think David Luiz was a good value SBC. He's pretty much relatively end game, but he came out in sort of January. Bernardo Silva was alright. Ryan Kent was one that was good. Most of the SBCs this year have been ridiculously overpriced, and what we've also been bombarded with this year is promo after promo after promo as EA squeeze every bit of money they can out of people, as much as they can. But I looked at Foot Birthday and I go, Foot Birthday was dreadful. Like, the cards were great in terms of the pack cards, but the SBCs themselves weren't great. It was a 5-star promo for like weak foot skill moves, and we got SBCs that were still 3-star and flashback ones. It was just, what was the point? Really poorly thought out. But I'll give it a level of credit to EA for the fact that obviously COVID-19's around, people are stuck indoors, and EA are probably working from home themselves. So there's a chance that realistically they're not able to bang out the content the same way they do. I mean, it's a multi-billion pound company, so that shouldn't be an excuse, but we'll see what it is. It is what it is. But in terms of the content from SBCs, in my opinion, there's been too much of it. It's been too easy for people to get in-game teams. And it's been poor value. It's been basically just a complete and utter like money ringer for EA, just trying to make as much money as they can out of people. And that's continued throughout. We had Foot Birthday, and you used to get free pack in Foot Birthday. We didn't get that. We've got those party bag SBCs, which we've discussed, and a lot of scam. And EA know people haven't got as much money at the moment. Some people are on 80% of wages in the UK. Other places in the world, people aren't working on their money, but they still decided to make a promo that was just basically them lining their own pockets, which is nothing we don't expect, but it's just EA. But I was just playing some games. Now, I've got quite a good team. I had hit my team a minute ago, and I was just playing a game, and it was just how dreadful the gameplay is on this game. You've got defenders that are like, they're on ice skates all the time. The passing is horrendous. It is absolutely diabolically bad. There's times you got through balls to an easy guy, and it would just put it somewhere completely random. And this also comes from the fact that I've been watching, I watch other YouTubers, of course I do. I'm watching them play, and I've been watching Game Changers. Now, Game Changers are brought in by EA as a way for EA to engage with the community a bit more. And I know Game Changers, I know them personally. And they all say the same thing to me, that they don't actually get listened to. There's only so much input they can put in that EA choose to listen to. But I take an example. I was watching AJ3, not that I know him personally, but I was watching him on Squad Builder Showdown. He's been bringing out Lockdown Edition, check it out. It's like kept me going without a doubt. And I was watching him say, and I looked at the last 5 episodes, and his exact lines is, this game is just stupid. This game is just stupid. This game is just stupid. And it is. It's crap. Let's be honest, it is rubbish. It is the worst FIFA in my opinion. I know very few people that have said to me legitimately, I've enjoyed FIFA 20. And it comes from the fact that EA have built a game with meta and certain ways of playing, and you have to play to that meta because they've made so many mechanics in this game overpowered. Now, the first one we can talk about is drop back. Drop back one depth is the bane of this game. It is awful. If you play drop back one depth, I can't stand you. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The game's supposed to be fun. But it's not just me saying that, people that pros are saying that. But pros have to play drop back one depth because every other pro plays drop back one depth because it's the effective way in this game. It's just the way the game works. And they've done nothing to nullify that, really. Nothing at all. But moreover than that, overload ballside is the one that comes to mind more than any other mechanic on this game. They brought that into the game and no one wanted it. No one wanted it at all. And they said to us, the feedback that we listen to feedback, we're listening to feedback, we're listening to feedback, and it's still here. And all they've done really from it is now just use it to drain stamina, right? So if you use drop back one depth, it drains stamina really quickly. If you are having to do that to a mechanic you brought into the game, you've messed up. You've messed up on that mechanic. If you're having to do it, you've made a mechanic so OP that you're having to make it so that it drains stamina mad fast on players, you've made an error. You rectify that error by removing it from the game. I look at Fortnite, and now Fortnite has its problems. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't. But they listen. They do tend to listen to the community and bring back stuff and move stuff and vault stuff and bring stuff back in again, whatever. But they listen to their community. I don't know one person that wants drop back up overload ballside. I don't know anyone that wants that. And yet EA persevere with it. Why? Because they don't care. That's the long and short of it. As long as their pockets be in line, they don't care. And it sounds harsh to say, but it's true. And I've tried to give EA credit at certain points, but we all know that I have an issue with EA in terms of the fact that they don't look at us as a community. They look at us as customers, as a way to line their pockets and make money. There's a reason why they've been voted one of the worst companies in the world for like 6 years running now, because they look to line their own pockets in any way they can. But then I looked at and I was watching the Foot Analyst, really, really great streamer, great YouTuber. Check him out if you want to get better at this game. I've got a lot better just by watching his videos. But I was watching his custom tactics video, and his custom tactics thing was there's a new patch. He's constantly changing his custom tactics. And in his custom tactics video, he's talking about how the patch has affected the game, so he's had to change his tactics. And this is because EA release this game every year, and they obviously develop it throughout the year, and then they release it. And it's always broken. It's always never what it should be. So they then spend the year patching it. And inevitably, when they patch one thing, they break another. It always happens. So you have to change your custom tactics constantly and play to the meta of the game that fits that patch. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I play this game to have fun. I play to have fun. I'm never going to be a pro. I'm not that good. I'm a Gold 1 Elite 3 player at best. So I play this game to have fun. I like the competitive aspect to a degree of Foot Champs, and that was a good thing they brought in this year. The 30 games rather than the 40, I think, was a positive thing they brought in. But I play it to have fun. I don't want to have to sit there once every 2 weeks when a new patch comes out and watch someone's video on a new custom tactic that fits the meta. I just want to play and have fun. I want people to attack and me to attack and to score goals and it be 6-5. And when I watch the pros play, I want to see that happen. And that's not what you get with this game. You have to fit the meta with everything you do. I want to be able to use players that don't fit the meta, like Ian Rush and players like that I just want to have fun with, but I can't because they're not meta. And it means that, like, you can get the highest rated card. Look at Zagi, for example, a really decent player, well, a great player in real life who's utterly unusable in this game because he doesn't fit the meta. And it just gets boring. You see the same teams. I see Ryan Kent running every single team. Even my team now, look at it. It's relatively meta. Like, I'm using Griezmann 5-star weak foot because if you don't use 5-star weak foot up front this year, it's crap. I've got Overmars, but we all know I love Overmars. But it's a relatively meta team because it fits into the meta. It's not perfectly meta. Like, I love Bernardo Silva. He's only got 3-star weak foot, but I use him anyway. But you have to fit that meta continually. And that meta keeps changing because they keep breaking the game and the game wasn't fit for purpose in the first place. It's like if you go and bought a fridge and it didn't keep your food cold, you return the fridge. You can't do that with a game like FIFA. You can't do that with computer games. And they're getting away with murder, in my opinion. It's disgusting. But moreover than any of this stuff, yesterday the servers went down and we all knew they were down from about 9 o'clock in the morning. This is FIFA direct communication right here, okay? Direct communication. They tweeted 23 hours ago, we're currently looking into issues affecting our servers. If you can't play online access original EA help, we're on it. That was 7 hours after the problem started. 7 hours. What are you doing over in Vancouver? That is disgusting. Long and short of it, that is disgusting. And I cannot stress that enough. You are a multi-billion pound company. Get different people in different time zones that are able to tweet this out when they see it happening. But 7 hours people being kicked on and off the game, kicked off, on the game, kicked off. And it took them 7 hours to tell people we're having problems with our game, as if we didn't already know that. It is useless. But what you'll see happen now, you will start to see loads more communication coming from EA. You'll start to see it. Bit by bit, in the coming months, you're going to see communication. You're going to see Jamie Foot economists come out of the woodwork and start tweeting stuff. You're going to see all of them start to say stuff about what's coming for FIFA 21 because they want you to buy the game. They're going to act like for the next 3-4 months they care. They did this at the end of FIFA 19 as well. Act like they care. They're going to act like they are on the ball and they're listening to us and they've taken on board all our feedback and da-da-da-da-da. And then you'll see the game drop. It'll get criticism because it's probably going to be trash again like this one. And you'll get nothing again. You'll get blanked. You'll get blanked again. Or if we're really unlucky, we'll have Corey back again talking nonsense on his Twitter or tweeting about the fact on Instagram about the fact that he's rich and got loads of money, which is off the backs of us players that have spent money on the game. But you'll see that. So don't fall for it again. Do not fall for it again. I'm not saying, this is not me saying boycott FIFA. It's not at all. In my opinion, PES is not a viable alternative for FIFA. When that PES hype happened when the whole Kurt situation happened, which we'll get onto in a second, when that PES hype happened, everyone was like, oh yeah, PES. And then they played the game and was like, actually, this game's even worse than FIFA, because it is. But just don't buy into the hype. Just don't buy FIFA points. I can't stress it enough. Just don't buy FIFA points. But they'll do it. They'll do it now. They'll push it. But more over than this year than I've seen from anything is EA's utter contempt and love for themselves. Now, let's talk about Kurt. I don't agree with everything Kurt says. I'm not going to lie to you, but I agree with a lot of the sentiment and where it comes from. I don't agree with him wishing death on them, or I'm not saying he wished death on them, or some people said he did, but I don't think he did, or spitting on the game and stuff like that. I don't agree with that stuff, but it's how Kurt chooses to express himself. That's up to Kurt. It ain't my business, really. But a lot of what Kurt says comes from a place of knowledge. Kurt is a pro. Like, whether he might not be a pro at the moment because he's been banned, Kurt is one of the best FIFA players out there. He's in that tier. So Kurt knows what he's talking about. So when Kurt talks, EA should listen. It's a fact. EA should listen. But they don't. And Kurt gets frustrated and does what he does. But you saw when they banned him, you saw them do the coolest shots SBC because they were just trying to flex themselves about a little bit. And it's happened with a few other content creators as well. They've gone at a few other content creators, done a few bits like that. And it's this utter contempt that they treat the community with. Whether those voices are helpful or not, that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If people have a legitimate point, even if the point they're making isn't being made in the most legitimate way, they should still be listening to it. But they don't. They refuse to listen to it. Instead, they have this Game Changers thing, which I'm going to be blunt with you. The Game Changers have done absolutely nothing. Do I blame them for that? Not at all. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that any Game Changers just sat there just twiddling their thumbs. They are trying to get feedback. They're trying to put feedback into the game. But instead of EA actually going and taking that feedback on board, EA think they know better, so they just keep doing what they're doing. But I think we're at a crossroads. I really think we're at a crossroads. I honestly believe that people are waking up to this. They're waking up to the fact that actually there's a viable alternative to either just not play FIFA or not spend FIFA points, or people are just getting bored of it. And I think EA are at a crossroads. I think EA are in big danger. I think they're in big trouble. Now, people keep going to me, oh, they'll keep making money though. I've noticed that this year that in Lightning rounds, some of them aren't selling out. I've noticed in Lightning rounds they're selling out a lot less sooner than they did because people can't be bothered. People don't know, I'm not going to spend those points. I've seen more and more creators use League SBC methods to stack packs than ever before, rather than spending money on FIFA points. Pieface, for example, I know he spends money on FIFA points, but I've seen him do League SBCs to stack packs. And I've seen him do it. I've watched him on a stream and I know he does it. And loads of people are doing that because they're thinking, well, rather than spending money on FIFA points when EA don't really care, I'm just going to do it this way instead. And it's a more viable alternative. Traders are getting bigger and bigger by the day because people are saying, actually, I've had enough of spending money on FIFA points. I'm going to go and trade instead. And then you're seeing trading communities grow massive. Twitter's boomed this year. Absolutely boomed. But I think that we're at a crossroads in terms of the fact that if EA don't get it right for FIFA 21, and even for the rest of this game, they are in big trouble. They are in big trouble because people are wising up to it. Governments are wising up to their tactics. Players are wising up to their tactics. I know loads of my viewers that were watching me before. I'm getting loads of viewers who are growing massively quickly, but a lot of my viewers are like, yes, I support the content by coming into stream, but actually I played Warzone yesterday because I don't see a point. But it all comes down to the contempt they treat the community with. It all comes down to crap like this. You cannot tweet 7 hours later that your servers are down. They then sat down and said, experienced a series of DDoS attacks we've now been able to resolve. But you didn't, though, did you? Because, again, today, the same thing happened again. The same thing happened again. Look into issues affecting our services. If you play online, we're on it. Literally copy and paste tweet from EA Help. Issues impacting EA Help across all types now resolved. Thank you for your patience. So you didn't resolve it. You half resolved it, and then it happened again. And again, people are saying to me, oh yeah, but anyone can get DDoSed. I understand that. But if you're a multi-billion-pound company, the chances are you should be able to do a bit better than you're doing. But why is that? Because the money that they get from this game does not go back to improving this game at all. It doesn't go on improving servers. It doesn't go on improving anything like that. It just goes back into their pockets. And that's what it does. It lines the shareholders' pockets. And that's realistically where it comes from with FIFA. Now, EA might dislike me for doing this. I watched it. But the final thing I want to talk about is their attempt at engagement recently. So the whole stay home and play, right? Stay home and play, or stay and play, whatever you want to call it. Now, I watched that happen on Twitter. And the first day it happened, EA went into every single big streamer that loves them stream. So we're talking Castro, we're talking Fuji. I think Fuji was one. Fuji might not have been one. But went to big streamers streams and started banging out all the gifted subs in the world. Look, guys, we're engaging with you. That's save your money. Like, I don't care. I've got to be blunt with you. I don't care about your money here. I don't care about you coming and gifting me my subs. Like, the first day was all big streamers, and then they went into some smaller streamers afterwards because they were criticised rightly for not supporting the smaller streamers that are also helping to prop up their game. But I don't want your money. That money you're spending and banging out gifted subs here, left, right, and centre, other than the ones that went to charities, which like Castro stream, fair enough. But other than that, use that money on servers. We'd all much rather that. We'd much rather you use that money on decent servers. That's what we'd rather. That's not engagement. Engagement is saying to the community, right, let's sit down and talk. What do you guys want to see from a game? Do you want that ultra aggressive game? Like last year, for example, everyone said the headers were overpowered. So what they do this year, completely nerfed them until they're being unusable. There was a middle ground in headers. You can make headers usable. Tuarico, thank you for the follow. Headers could be usable if you literally just made some middle ground between being ridiculously overpowered with that downwards header back post and the back post cross and being absolutely useless. There is a middle ground there. But you engage with your community. Engage with streamers. Engage with people that are helping sell your game and say to them, what is your community saying to you? Because you're obviously not getting it from those teams on your Twitter that, in my opinion, are useless. You're not getting it from them. So engage with streamers in a proper way. Say to streamers and content creators, hey, what are your viewers saying about this game? What is the problem with this game? And people come back to you and say they don't like the passing. And you're not going to be able to resolve everything at all. You're not going to be able to resolve everything whatsoever, but you will be able to fix some of the issues. And the main ones, such as connectivity, such as the SBC'S being way too expensive and way overpriced. You'll be able to resolve some of those, and you'll be able to make positive changes to this game because it is fixable. We're not at the end game here, and people will be like, "That's it. I'm never playing the game again." But it is. There are things they can do, and it can be legitimate. Not the bull that we see from them. Like, "Oh yeah, we're engaging with these game changers here. Come and sell our game at a game changer event before FIFA 21 comes out. Engage with your game changers. Ask them what the problems are, and then act upon it. I know right now is probably going to be a difficult time for you to act on it with COVID-19 and stuff like that, and I understand that, and that's why I think people are given a degree of leeway. But act on those opinions. Act on the people that genuinely play your game all the time, that sell your game to other people, and listen to them and engage with it. You don't know better. That's a fact. You in your little office in EA and whatnot, you do not know better. That's it. You don't know better than the millions of people that play your game that are criticising it week in, week out. You know nothing. I can't stress that enough. You are, in fact, let's put it bluntly, you are irrelevant in that debate. If your community doesn't like the game, your opinion is irrelevant. Full stop. If your community asks for something to be removed from the game, bloody remove it. It ain't that difficult. If your pros, your underpaid pros, are asking you and saying it's boring, text the poster boy for this game. If they're saying to you it's boring to play, make it less boring. Act upon it. Otherwise, you are in trouble, EA. You are definitely in trouble. I can't stress that enough. I've got Hullet in my team now, and it still can't make this game enjoyable for me. I just can't enjoy this game. And I just find it ironic that EA linking up with these campaign against Live Miserably, stuff like that, when this game makes people miserable when they play it. It's fact. It does make people miserable. I don't want this to seem like I'm just ranting and angry at EA, because I'm not. Like I'm things are positive for me at the moment. My channel's growing brilliantly. My Twitch is growing really well. I'm happy in life. I am pleased with how things are going. But I think everyone that criticises this game comes from the same place. EA gets so defensive about it, and it's like, oh, you're criticising us. It's like, well, no. It comes from the place of wanting the game to be the best it can be. I remember Nick saying that. Nick saying, someone criticised Nick for having a go at the game, and they were like, well, why are you still playing it? He's like, because I love this game and I want it to be the best I can be. I saw him tweet today and say something similar. We want the game to be the best it can be, and that's why we criticise. We don't criticise because we think, oh, let's just criticise for the sake of it. When EA gets stuff right, I give them credit for it. I always do. But everyone wants this game to be the best it can be. But if EA keep going with this pig-headed, we know better mentality, this game will never be good. It will never be back to the levels that we saw in old games. I honestly think there's so much work this game needs, but so much of it is fixable just by asking the people and listening to the people about what they can do to improve the game and improve it for people. Because again, EA's opinion on what the game is like is irrelevant. I don't care about your opinion. I care about the opinion of everyone that's playing it and not got some sort of ulterior motive or agenda because they're making lots of money from it. But lads, that is the video. That is going to be the end of the video. Tomorrow we'll hopefully see the house tour come out for you guys to see that, and hopefully return of the League SBC Method to Glory. We'll be back on the 0 to 2 million account, but obviously right now it's stagnated a little bit because we were off the game for 24 hours. But yes, check it out. As always, if you're new around here, please do subscribe down below, click the like button, all that good stuff. It is massively appreciated. But for now, lads, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.